So Google was kind enough to send over a Pixel 4 XL for me to play around with. And in the brief time that I've had it after unboxing it and using it for a few hours, yeah, I gotta say, this is a weird device like a lot of other reviewers have been saying. And that's kind of the theme here, I guess. Pixel devices have always been kind of weird in their own way, you know, in terms of their design elements and their additions and non-additions of features, especially this year. But in the short time that I've had this, 5 things have really stuck out to me so far that make me really like this device, and I want to share them with you right now. But before we continue here, I'd really appreciate it if you'd leave a like on this video, comment if you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, as the algorithm likes this, and will help my videos get to more people. So without wasting any more time, let's jump into the 5 reasons why I really do enjoy the Pixel 4 XL. First up, I want to talk about the back glass on this device. Although the sides are confusing me as to what the HE double hockey sticks they're made out of. I think it's like aluminum coated in some plastic, but we'll go over that in a different video. The matte glass on the back of the Pixel 4 and 4 XL is by far my favorite implementation in a smartphone right now. It takes the best aspect of matte glass, which is its non-reflective nature, and combines it with the best aspect, I think, of glossy glass, which is a really smooth finish, and that is definitely the case here with this phone. I love it. I actually like the back glass better on here than that of my 11 Pro. I like this smoother texture better than the rougher one found on my iPhone, so I think it looks really awesome and feels awesome too. And I also want to add that the camera module looks a lot cleaner in person. It goes very well with this, you know, just white or panda color scheme with this phone. Next up, I want to talk about display here. And yes, there is a gigantic forehead on this phone, but let me tell you, anything trumps a bathtub notch, as Mark has proudly put. This looks way better, and I mean miles better than what the Pixel 3 XL was. That was a nightmare. That was a mistake. And Google, I guess, did a decent enough job rectifying that error by making the top bezel just thicker this year. But that's not what I'm focused on at the moment, and believe it or not, the top bezel is not really all that distracting, much less distracting once again than the big mile-long notch we had last year. The display on this device is something special. Not only is it AMOLED and massive, sharp, colorful, it has HDR, just looks incredible for navigating through the UI and watching YouTube videos and going through Instagram. It's also 90 Hertz this year, and pairing 90 Hertz with stock Android, I think, is a lot of people's dream come true, and it's very, very buttery smooth. I wouldn't say quite as buttery smooth as like a OnePlus device, but it's basically right up there, and I'm really enjoying my time using this device with this display. It makes a world of a difference, and if you're coming from an original Pixel or a Pixel 2 or even a Pixel 3, this is going to be a real treat for you. Next up, I want to quickly touch on speaker quality with this device, and I'm really impressed with this phone in regard to that. I said that the Pixel 3 AXL, mind you, a budget phone, had really decent speakers, and I already assumed that since this phone is so much more expensive, the speakers on here are going to be amazing, and I wasn't wrong. There is a lot of volume, which is really great, and clarity, and I gotta say, listening to music and watching videos is a really awesome experience, especially with this single front-firing speaker. Although it's not like the Pixel 2, which had dual front-firing, it's still a really great stereo experience, and you're really going to enjoy, once again, consuming media with this device. Next up, I want to talk about portrait mode with this device. And yes, there is no ultra wide. I was disappointed. We all were disappointed. Hopefully Google will implement that next year. However, Pixel 3 and 3 XL were already, I would say, the king of smartphone photography as of last year, and their portrait mode was just unbelievable with what Google has managed to do with their AI and just image processing. But the fact that we have a telephoto camera on here now, which gives this phone the hardware ability to perceive depth, just makes the portrait mode, I would say, even better. And in the very brief time I've had this phone, the portrait mode results have just been jaw-droppingly good. I mean, like, look at the way in this picture the background blur adheres to the edge of this tree. I mean, just like mind-blowing. And it makes sense because Google's AI and now the addition of a telephoto lens makes this possible. And just the sharpness and the clarity in the image processing, of course, is just next to none. It's just beautiful. So I've yet to do more testing here, but yeah, the portrait mode seems very, very promising. And lastly, this is sort of a two-part reason we have to talk about the tech found within this phone's forehead. First up, we now have facial recognition, and I gotta say, it works so well you don't even have to think about it. It's just like Face ID, maybe even better. And it's apparently secure enough because Google lets you use it to secure, payments and other, confidential, sensitive apps. And secondly, radar technology in the top bezel here allows this phone to receive input from motion. It's called Motion Sense, and as of right now, you can use it to, silence interruptions or alarms, skip songs, and to look at notifications when your phone is off. It's called Reach to Check Phone. For some reason, I have not been able to get that to work, but for skipping music, it works like a charm. So for copyright reasons, I'm going to keep the volume down, but as you can see here, I can skip through songs with just the wave of my hand, which is really cool. I mean, it's surprisingly accurate. It's a little bit gimmicky, but at the same time, it's a very exciting technology, and I cannot wait to see what other features Google implements with this radar technology. And that about wraps things up. I hope this video helped you out. I have so much more coverage coming on this device, including my full review, a bunch of camera tests, probably comparisons, and I'm probably going to have a video going over some of the aspects of this phone that I don't like in order to better inform you as a consumer, but that's going to come a little bit later. In the meantime, once again, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like on this video, comment if you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, and subscribe for more content like this. And as always, I'm Noah, and I will catch you all in the next one.